This is Cal Newport's idea of deep work. So let's talk more deeply about this concept. Here's the full definition of deep work: professional activities performed in a state of distraction-free concentration that push your cognitive abilities to their limit. These efforts create new value, improve your skill, and are hard to replicate. Again, it's never been easier to get ahead these days because people are so distracted that if you do deep work and maybe just 90 minutes of deep work per day, you can get so far past everyone, because deep work is necessary to wiring every last drop of value out of your current intellectual capacity. We know for decades of research in both psychology and neuroscience that the state of mental strain that accompanies deep work is also necessary to improve your abilities. So the deep work hypothesis, the ability to perform deep work, is becoming increasingly rare at the exact same time is becoming increasingly valuable in our economy. As a consequence, a few who cultivate this skill and then make it a core of their working life will thrive. You must go deep. And finally, the 4 rules of deep work. Rule number 1, work deeply. We understand that concept now. Rule number 2, which we've been talking about, embrace boredom. In other words, don't reach for your phone whenever you have a spare 3 seconds. Embrace it. Embrace that boredom, but only if you want to go deep and unlock your full potential. That's what the 7-day challenge is about. It's about embracing boredom so you can unlock your creativity using these different challenges and different sets to break you free from your device. And then rule number 3 from Cal Newport is quit social media. The quit social media rule. You watch Cal Newport's TED Talk on why you should quit social media. It's an amazing TED Talk, but may not apply to every single one of us, because at this point, that may almost be impossible for most of us. But creating boundaries, emotional parameters with our devices, and putting in deep work blocks and device-free time in our calendar is more realistic for most of us. Or deleting that app, or removing it from our phone, or creating boundaries, or creating a fake vacation, right? Where we have an autoresponder, where we have a 2-hour block where if someone sends us an email, they get an email back because we're putting that time in our schedule to go deep, right? Cal Newport never started on social media. He quit social media. So it allows him obviously to go really deep all the time. He's on YouTube and has a podcast, but he's not doing email. He's not doing any of these other things that are paper cutting his productivity. So what we can do if we already have social and we're already doing all of these things to advance our business, our life, or whatever we're doing, we have to set these emotional parameters, these boundaries, these things in our calendars, deleting that app, creating the fake vacation, things that are part of the Cal Newport's rules and things that are part of the Bored and Brilliant Challenge. That's really, really important. Again, it's going to elevate us past everyone else who's just going shallow on all of their work, who's distracted, who's paper cutting their productivity, who are not going deep on anything that they're doing in their life. And then we have rule number 4, which is drain the shallows. Basically, quit wasting your time on stupid stuff. You have to know what you really want. And that's a question we should be asking ourselves often. What do I really want? What do I really want? And then being able to focus on what's most important is a superpower these days. But that's a question you have to ask yourself. And you have to understand it through experience and different ideas and trying stuff and going all in on certain things and finding out it's not for you and it is for you. Okay, this is most important to me in this period or this season of my life. Now I'm going to go all in on it. I'm going to go all in on it. And I'm constantly asking myself this question so I know actually what I really do want. And so I know what my most important tasks might be based on that ultimate North Star, or that wildly important target, or that massive, transformative purpose. Ultimately, changing behavior comes down to a little bit of motivation and a lot of discipline. We got to make the connection between our most important goals and the time we are wasting with stupid stuff. How about we take a moment now then to reflect on Greg McKeown's simple 3-step process from his unbelievably powerful book, Essentialism. Step number 1, what's essential for you? Again, what's most important? What do I really want? We have to create the space to figure that out. It starts with, the challenge number 1 of this Bored and Brilliant challenge, which is observe yourself. Awareness, acceptance, action. Step number 1 here of what's essential for you is an awareness. And then we're accepting the fact that, yes, this is essential, this is not essential, this is important, this is important. And then obviously step number 3 is action. We have to move into action. What's actually going to move the needle forward? What are the lead measures that get us closer to that wildly important target? And then we have step number 2, which is eliminate all the stuff that's not essential. That clears up a ton of free time so we can actually go deep and we're not wasting our time on stupid shit. Again, we're not paper cutting our productivity. We're not trying to multitask. We're just task switching really badly and there's attentional residue everywhere. And we're not just going deep on the thing that we really, really care about. One, because we haven't identified what we really, really care about. So we have to create the space to figure that out. We have to get bored enough to figure that out, to let our mind wander, to get into that imagination stage where we can figure out what we want. We can go to experience things. We can take a walk. We can hang out with friends. We can travel, and we can understand what we really do want. And then we can go all in on it. And then step 3, invest all that bonus time into what matters. Optimize your meaning and your mojo. That's incredible stuff that we're learning here from Cal Newport and Greg McKeown, mixed in with this Bored and Brilliant challenge to be able to break free from those devices. At least, maybe not break free, but at least have some control and some power and some agency over those devices so they're not totally running your life. You're running your life based on what you want to do and the actions you find most important. Thank you very much for tuning in to that. If you enjoyed it, then you'll love the full-length episode right here. Right here. Click it. Go ahead.